Peace to another episode of the Bronzo Report. Peace and light to all those that came through or will be coming through to check it out. Got a lot of things going on in the world. A lot of things going on in the world. Men against women, women against men. Left wing, right wing. Project 2025 on the horizon. It just makes you scratch your head a little bit. I'm like, man, what in the world is going on? What's the inspiration behind it all? Which is why we're still continuing in the Oahpse Book of Inspiration. We're gonna pick up right where we left off at. It's called Chapter 2. Verse 1. You are made of inspiration, says Jehovah. I made you a corporal body, and I wrote upon it. You are the result. And I made you susceptible, so all things external to yourself could write upon it. I made you susceptible, being what? Influenceable. So all things external to yourself could write upon it. And when you put it in that way, plain English, it just got a little bit more punch to it, don't it? I made you influenceable with your surroundings. The sum of these is your knowledge. Makes sense, right? The things around you your surroundings basically are giving you knowledge to either build you up or tear you down. As it is with you, so it is with all men, with all the living that I created. Nor is there any knowledge in the world but what I gave. All of it is my inspiration, man said. Oh, man said. On to the next set of paragraphs. Because we don't want to run everything in to make it sound like this and that. No. Man said, by certain measurements, I teach my sons mathematics. I am behind all, says Jehovah. I taught your father's father and all who were before him. The sum of all man's knowledge is merely man's capacity to perceive my light. I made you my servant to teach your son by certain measurements. This was the road I made to reach your son's soul. Man said, I know more than my father did, and yet my father knew more than his father did. We reason, we digest, we compound from one another. I am the all external, from me smaller lights are focalized, says Jehovah. So you can see this is a conversation between the two. A man holds a condensing lens or a convex lens to the sun, and he lights a fire with it. But yet the lens did not contain the heat. You have accumulated knowledge in the same way. Yet you did not conceive any knowledge of your own, but all came from me. I gave it all. The increase in knowledge now upon the earth with all the races of men. It's the Christians. All races of men. The Hebrews. All races of men. Commissions. All races of men. It's only Muslims. All races of men. It's only the increase I gave. Man of himself created none of it. Neither can you create one thought, idea, or impulse. You can only gather together from my harvest or from me in person. Chapter 3. I made the eye of man to obtain knowledge by light, but the ear of man I made to obtain knowledge from darkness and within darkness, says Jehovah. I gave the power of touch to man by which he could learn the adaptability and compatibility and incompatibility of things of himself. It don't really matter how old you get. This is a day-to-day thing. Every day. These are the corporal doorways I gave to you. That connection right there is like, man, look. Mm, 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 mm. These are the corporal doorways I gave to you, O man, by which you are able to receive knowledge from me and my creations, consciously to yourself. Therefore, these you are constantly impregnated. Through these, your soul accumulates knowledge of my works. Whatever is charged upon these doorways of your soul is inspiration. When you see bread, you are inspired to eat. When you see a horse, you are inspired to ride. When you touch a nettle, you are inspired with pain. It's talking about the what's the plan? The stinging nettle. They have a couple of different varieties of nettles, but the stinging nettle is one. When you touch it, it can create uh, displeasure in your skin. Yet in all cases, you must have practice before you can comprehend the inspiration that comes to you from these external things. Yet in all cases, you must practice before you can comprehend the inspiration that comes to you from these external things. Man says, today I remember my friend, whom I have not seen for many years. Jehovah said, I made you like a storehouse, and like a book that was written before. Kind of like a hard drive. Your whole being is like a hard drive that you can pull up certain memories. Scientifically, I guess you would call that subconscious. And I gave you, let me back up. Jehovah says, I made you like a storehouse and like a book that was written before. And I gave you power to reread your stores in your book within your soul. This was the accumulated inspiration that I had previously given to you. When you are fevered, entranced, or in diverse action from your usual bent, your soul turns into these stores inwardly. I added that part in there in case y'all just driving along and listening. I added the inwardly because that's what it's pertaining to. Your soul turns into these stores and your memory comes forth wonderfully. You ever remember some things from years and years ago that you ain't never thought of in a long time? And then you remember like it was yesterday. This is the manifestation of inspiration which I have previously given you. I made you so that you would receive inspiration, not only from the world external to yourself, but inspiration from the members of your body. My impression upon you is inspiration. You probably gonna hear a lot of today. It's one of my favorite books. My impression upon you is inspiration, but you must realize my inspiration in order to know me. An idiot holds fire in his hand and it gives him pain, but yet he does not know the cause or where the pain originates. Either this didn't happen to you before, or you know, or you've seen somebody go through this. When you reflect back on certain situations, certain things down through the years in your life, and it dawns on you now, or has dawned on you from things previously, you're like, man, why was so and so and so and so? Why did so and so do that? Why that happened? No. That was dumb. So also I come to you and give you inspiration, but you do not discern me. Another man discerns my presence and my inspiration. He hears me speak. He sees my person. And that's where we ought to be. Some of us are there. Some of us are halfway there. You know, there's different layers to each and every one of us. You know where you at, though. Yet I am with both alike. One man opens his mouth to speak, and behold, my words come forth. And yet another says, no man knows Jehovah, none have heard him. One man is sensitive, like a photographic plate for a picture, and it catches my light instantly and knows it's from me. And you hear these testimonies all the time. All the time. Another one says, a sudden thought struck me, but he does not discern where it came from. When the infant is young, chapter 4, when the infant is young, my light is its first knowledge, says Jehovah. It sees me and hears me, and it sees and hears my angels through its spiritual senses. Because you already know, time and time again, especially with black folks, we own that one. But, you know, it happens to everybody. But in this particular community, we brought up knowing that, yeah, you know, babies, they see things. Why? Babies, they in their purest state. Ain't even lived yet. And just that alone is just like, so simple, but so heavy. By the pressure of my light upon its corporal eyes and ears, it learns to see and hear in corporally. This is the beginning of two senses, which I created to grow parallel to each other and equal in strength. But the infant being in corporal world heeds the things that appeal to the corporal senses more than those that appeal to the spiritual senses. Let me read that again. But the infant being in the corporeal world heeds the things that appeal to the corporal senses more than those that appeal to the spiritual senses. So that one person grows up forgetting me and my angels. He is a skeptic. But another person grows up remembering me and my angels. He is a believer. And behold, you, O man, inquire of them. Where did the idea of a creator in all person come from? And one of them answers you, it is inherent. It is natural. But the others say, the chop poppers, the naysayers, it is folly. It came from darkness. But I say to you, oh man, darkness cannot create an idea. Darkness would not even be known except for the light I make beside it. You cannot imagine any animal under the sun which I have not created. Man said, I imagine a horse with a fish's head and fins. And I seen that image somewhere. I can't exactly tell you where it's at right now. I seen that image. I can't remember if it was a zodiac sign or something. I seen that image somewhere before in some book. Whatever you invent, says Jehovah, you merely take the parts of one of my creations and put them to another. Let this prove to you, if you cannot invent a new living creature that your forefathers did not do, so either in regard to me. Let this prove to you, if you cannot invent a new living creature, that your forefathers did not do so either in regard to me. Nevertheless, you have a thought and an idea of me and my person, and you have a thought and an idea of the spirits of the dead. By my presence and inspiration upon you, I taught you I am the I am, a person. Let me go and read that one again, a little taste right there. By my presence and inspiration upon you, I taught you I am the I am, a person. Yeah. You know the I am up there yonder with Moses. But the inspiration and presence of my angels, I taught you of them also. My inspiration upon the bird causes it to sing. By my presence, I teach it to build its nest. By my presence, I color one rose red and another one white. Proof of my person is in the harmony of the whole and of everyone being a person of itself, perfect in its order. Chapter 5. I have two kinds of voices, says Jehovah. The silent voice and the audible voice. So true. So true. But the person has to experience that. People still walking around and ain't even heard that. The audible. It just happens. You can't force it. It's just, it's your time to hear it. But so many people walking around ain't even heard this, trying to tell folks some things. I created all men susceptible to one or the other of my voices, and many to both. One man hears my voice in the breeze, and in thunder, and in music. Another hears my voice in the flowers of the field, and in the scenery of the mountains. And yet another feels my inspiration, and he skips up the mountainside and does not tire on the way. He who neither sees nor feels my inspiration goes up the mountain in great labor. Man, that's just you don't feel nothing. He who neither sees nor feels my inspiration goes up the mountain in great labor. In proportion to how clear man is in his corporeality and in his spirit, so does he discern my inspiration. And if he has great purity as well, then he shapes my light into corporal worlds. And if he has great purity as well, then he shapes my light into corporal words. I taught man to call these my revealed words. Nevertheless, I did not create any corporal man perfect, nor can any man reveal my words perfectly. But I created the way open to all men to try to reveal me. According to man's approximation to perfect manhood, so do I reveal to him by my presence and my words. According to man's imperfection in manhood, so does my inspiration not manifest on his senses. I created perfect manhood possible, equal in corporal and spiritual senses. That ought to be the phrase, the text of the week. I created perfect manhood possible, equal in corporeal and spiritual senses. Strong corporeal senses and weak spiritual senses detract man from my presence and make him infidel to my person. Such a man denies my inspiration of my angels. He is little more than a forest tree, which has a trunk and many branches, but does not move from its place. Mm-mm-mm. And I'm going to stop there. That'll be the reading for the day. Inspiration, Book of Inspiration from Oahpse, chapter 2 through 6. Peace and light, fam.